And hello everybody, it's your boy Carnie, Hobo. Hopefully having a beautiful day today. Today, we're going to be introducing episode 2 of the Budget Beaters, and I know I was going to do a grass type, but I ended up doing another Pokemon. If you didn't know by the title on the thumbnail yet, it's going to be number 12, Butterfree. Hope you guys do enjoy. Back in the days of Gen 1, this was a monster at that early game. It did learn Psybeam early game and got through a lot of hard times. Butterfree is a unique typing, just kidding, it's not even unique at all, but back in Gen 1, it was the first bug flying type Pokemon you could acquire. And this kind of sets Butterfree against all other bug flying types to an extent. Let's talk about why. Well, Butterfree is a final evolution of bug flying type, so it's not like Scyther, where Scyther can hold Evilite in current metagame. Butterfree has to be on its own, and it has to hold its own item. It can do its own things, which is going to be very good, and what we're going to need for it in Draft League, basically, in general. So, let's talk about stats of Butterfree, because Butterfree overall is a very mediocre Pokemon, at least when it comes to stats. Stat overall, back in Gen 5, it had base 60, 45, I'm saying this in chronological order, so HP, attack, defense, special attack, special defense, and 70. Okay, or in speed, excuse me. So it's going to be base 60 HP, base 45 attack, base 50 defense, special attack was 80, speed def was 80, and 70 in the speed. What this did back in Generation 5 is basically made this thing kind of unusable. Kinda is kind of a strong paraphrasing of it. It honestly was really bad, but in Gen 6 it got a boost to its special attack and got base 90. So now it hurts a little more, and with its abilities, it kind of makes sense why. Now, let's talk about abilities. Ability wise, we're going to be looking at two great ones, two of them being Compound Eyes and Tinted Lens. Now, when I think of Compound Eyes, I normally think of, what is it called? The electric bug thing. Oh my lord. I think of Galvantula, because Galvantula, Thunder, Compound Eyes doesn't really miss a lot. Cool. But Tinted Lens is one of the signature abilities that most bugs get. Other notable Tinted Lens users are going to be Yanmega and Venomoth. Venomoth and Yanmega, they both use Tinted Lens differently. Yanmega is a little bit faster than Volbeat, and then Butterfree, and Venomoth is a different typing than Butterfree, so give or take, but they're both bug type Pokemon that get this ability. If you don't know what the ability Tinted Lens does, is that it boosts the damage of not very effective hits. So, for example, if I see a fire type, I'm going to use Bug Buzz, because Bug Buzz is going to do super effective damage, or it doubles the damage of what the resist would be. So normally resist would be half damage to, let's say, a Magmortar. Well, instead of doing that, it's doing full damage, and then a little bit more because it is double the damage. That is going to be a really good ability, and that's why we're going to be using this Pokemon. And that's why I think it's a little bit underrated, honestly. But let's talk about the typing effectiveness first, before we get into the move pool, of course. Now, Butterfree is able to bring one immunity in ground typing because of its flying typing, of course. It's able to carry 2 quad resist, which is going to be fighting and grass. And then it's also going to be able to pick up resistance and bug because of its flying typing. But because of its flying typing and its really weird typing and bug flying, which it's whatever, you're going to be having flying, rock, fire, ice, and electric being your weaknesses, and you really do need to watch out for stealth rocks because you take 50% if you're going to move in. Now, let's now talk about the current metagame. Now, if you're playing in Let's Go, if you're doing a Let's Go league, I highly kind of don't recommend getting Butterfree, just because it doesn't really do much. Now, don't get me wrong, it is a teleporting mon, so it's a free baton passer. It does have Sleep Powder, Stun Spore, and the Powder move, so it gets all the Powder moves, and it does get Quiver Dance plus Air Slash and Bug Buzz, which are going to be the strongest flying and bug type moves, respectively, inside the league, at least for the special side. But overall, its base stats is going to be holding you back, and it doesn't have a diverse move pool like it would in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, nor does it have the ability Tinted Lens. Speaking of the Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon metagame, I would highly recommend using Butterfree inside of this metagame, as it does get a lot of good coverage. First things first, let's talk about it. The hole in the room, it does get psychic coverage, and for a bug flying type getting psychic coverage, it changes the metagame a little bit. It changes the game a little bit. Basically, because it was back in Gen 1 where psychic type coverage was really rare. I mean, you did get the TM psychic, but not a lot of Pokemon learned psychic coverage moves via level up. Butterfree would help you out back in Gen 1. And now in Generation 7, we are going to see a different type of Butterfree. Most of all, we're going to be looking at its crazy move pool. It does get things like Tailwind, Quiver Dance, Air Slash, Bug Buzz, to be notable a few. It does get all 3 Powder status moves, which is going to be Poison Powder, Sleep Powder, and Stun Spore. And also, like I said, gets Psychic coverage. It gets Psychic coverage and Psychic, Dream Eater, Psybeam, Confusion. Also, it does get Grass coverage, being Energy Ball and Solar Beam, which you're never going to be running, honestly. And if you're running a Toxapex on your team, laying down the T-Spikes, Venoshock could potentially be a threat to help you out in the long run. Also, since it is a flying type, it does get the lovely ability to roost up and heal itself up, so it can be very good for a Quiver Dance sweeping set. Also, because Mewtwo is back in Generation 7, because of Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, it does get Electric Web as an electric coverage move, and this all comes into effect when we start talking about Tinted Lens. Tinted Lens and these coverage moves can really help you out in a pinch, especially since, you know, TM coverage moves. It's really cool. Honestly, it's really, really cool. Also, I forgot to mention that Butterfree does get things like Shadow Ball and does get 2 other setters, being Sunny Day and Rain Dance. Mostly all Pokemon get those, but just wanted to point that out there. Now, let's get into potential sets that you can run with Butterfree. Hold on one second. We're now back on Showdown real quick. Actually, we're on Draft Frontier, and I picked up 3 Butterfrees right here, as you can see. Now, Butterfree in general, you can run Compound Eyes. What this will help out is if your league allows it, you can always run Supersonic Compound Eyes and do a lot of damage. Like a lot of damage, my dude. Overall, it's not really the best ability to run. Like I said, most of the time you're going to be running Tinted Lens, but if you were going to run Compound Eyes, like I said, you can always guaranteed a Sleep Powder to hit or a Stun Spore. This kind of just helps with you being able to set up a Quiver Dance, since it does get that, and it's going to be very good for helping you out. Of course, as Butterfree should always run potential Dual Stab. So this is going to be a Compound Eye set if you don't want to miss Sleep Powders. Overall, the other sets you're going to be wanting to be running is you can run a Tinted Lens set. Of course, it's going to be like the same way as the other one. You're going to run Dual Stab plus Quiver Dance, and then you can always run Stun Spore and or Sleep Powder. I prefer Sleep Powder over Stun Spore, just because putting something to sleep and then being able to set up on it is a lot better than banking on Parahacks. But like I said, the Compound Eye set honestly could run Stun Sleep, and what that kind of helps out is it basically, basically what this helps out with is basically you put something to sleep. If they end up switching, you can always Stun Spore the next thing that comes in, and because of Compound Eyes, you're only going to be, I think it's like 96% accurate, so it's going to be really good. you're gonna hit most of the time. And also with Compound Eyes, you have a less probability of missing Air Slash because it's 95 base accuracy. So this is going to be your main sweeper right here, like I said, with the Nintendo Lids, Butterfree. Overall, like I said, it does get really cool coverage moves, being E-Ball and Giga Drain. It does get things, like I said, Shadow Ball. It does get Electric Web for electric coverage. It does get Hidden Power, which I mean, almost every Pokemon in the world gets Hidden Power. But it also gets things like Struggle Bug if you don't want to run Bug Buzz and you want to lower your opponent's special attack, which is kind of weird, but I tend to go for the damage. And last but not least, for your Carnie set of the day, we are going to be bringing the good old-fashioned dual lens light clay Butterfree, because Butterfree, if you don't know, can run both Reflect and I believe Light Screen, if I'm correct. No, never mind, it only gets Reflect. But you can have Reflect Butterfree, which is going to be really cool. It can help out with the defensive end. You can always run Tailwind to boost up your speed, and it can make your team a little bit cooler. You can get Psych Up. Now, Psych Up Butterfree is a weird one. The only time you really want to run Psych Up is honestly if you're Sash Butterfree, and like there's no hazards up, or at least spikes are only up, because then you get Psych Up, and if you're going against another Quiver Dancer and you might naturally outspeed it, you might be able to win that. Honestly, you probably won't, but hey, it's whatever. And then last but not least, like I said, you can always run Toxic Venoshock, being a set, just poison everything, or like I said, in correlation with something like a Toxapex laying down T-Spikes, or any other Pokemon that can lay down T-Spikes. It doubles up the power if the target is poisoned, and that makes Butterfree honestly a legit threat when it comes to dealing damage to a lot of Pokemon, especially since poison does hit the fairies a lot better than what Butterfree can normally hit the fairies with, and yeah, it honestly makes it a whole lot better. But that is going to be episode 2 of the Budget Beater project. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a like and comment down below what you want to see next time. Next time, I'm probably going to do a grass type Pokemon, because I've been doing all these bugs. I need to get my grass type love in. So until next time, I'll see you later. Bye bye.